If you're in a dark place right now, know that you're not alone. I've been there and it led me to a whole new life. Stay tuned to learn how it went from pain to potential to prosperous. Have you ever felt like you hit rock bottom and there was no way out? Trust me, I've been there and it felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm here to tell you that there is hope. And sometimes the darkest times are what lead us to a life of freedom and purpose. In this video, I want to share my own experience with what's called the dark night of the soul and how going through the darkness actually helped me rebuild my life from the ground up. We're going to talk about what it feels like to be in this space, why it's actually a blessing in disguise, and how it led me to find meaning and purpose. Let's go back to 2015. At the time, I was barely hanging on, living in a hotel, working nonstop as a waitress, and feeling totally burnt out. My days felt like I was on autopilot, just going through the motions, working, drinking, and smoking weed. I was running from myself, using distractions to numb the pain, and I didn't even realize how deep in depression I was until a friend pointed it out. Embarrassing. Looking back, I see now that I was in complete denial. I tricked myself into thinking that things like marijuana were harmless because they were natural. But the truth was, I was using it as a crutch. It's humbling to admit, but this was my wake-up call. Once I finally accepted that I was in a cycle of self-destructive habits, drinking, smoking, dating guys who didn't truly care for me, I knew something had to change. My life was filled with empty distractions, and that emptiness started feeling unbearable. Around this time, someone introduced me to spiritual tools like the Law of Attraction, Abraham Hicks, Astrology, and numerology. These weren't just fun ideas. They actually helped me start seeing myself in a completely new way. They gave me insight into why I kept ending up in these situations and how I could get out. As I began exploring these tools, something incredible started happening. I became more intentional about the people I let into my life, the choices I made, and the things I focused on. I started saying no to the things that didn't align with who I was discovering myself to be. My biggest breakthrough was in 2017 when an opportunity to move to Korea with a family member came up. Here I was doing the inner work, learning about my desires, and out of nowhere, this life-changing chance just fell into my lap. I had always dreamed of travel and exploration, and this was the universe saying, here you go. For me, it made the law of attraction feel so real. Now, looking back, I realized that depression, the dark night of the soul, was necessary for me. It was painful, yes, but it tore down everything false in my life so I could rebuild authentically. I had to lose the distractions to find my real passions and purpose. If you're going through this kind of experience right now, know that there's a purpose to your pain. Sometimes life has to break you down to show who you truly are. But remember, the brightest day follows the darkest night. When you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. My journey taught me that when you're feeling lost, the answer is within you, not outside. Dive deep into that pain and you'll find parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Embrace the discomfort and know it's part of your growth. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to try things like journaling, meditation, or even exploring astrology and numerology. These are the tools that help me shed my ego and rebuild my life from a place of purpose. I hope it helps you see that the dark night of the soul, while painful, can lead you to your highest self, just like it did me. If you're going through it now, have faith, be gentle with yourself, and know that the best is yet to come.